as an expert man, and the principle of religion will be observed only for the sake of reputation. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Okay, 7 to 9. Anybody?
As the earth thus becomes crowded with corrupt population, whoever among any of the social classes shows himself to be the strongest will gain political power, losing their wives and properties to such avaricious and merciless rulers who will behave no better than ordinary thieves. The citizens will flee to mountains and forests.
Okay, so 1 second. So actually, many of these things are already happening, and some of these things which are just started or maybe not happening as much widespread, we can already see these things happening. So, like for example, all the first few is clear that all those are happening. Now, they're saying that losing their wives and property to such avaricious and merciless rulers who will behave no better than ordinary thieves, the citizen will flee to the mountains and forests. So many of the countries, if you see the situation in countries, authoritarian countries like China, North Korea, and many such other countries, this is how actually citizens are being treated. Ladies are being tortured, and then of course people are running away just because of this. And of course many of the other places also where you can see there's no proper governance. Now Myanmar people are killing, Afghanistan, it's all creating havoc. So having a very strong and powerful ruler who is Krishna conscious is what is the Vedas recommend. That is the best thing. Okay, please continue, Suresh.
Like Saddam Hussein was also there, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so many.
Harassed by the यहाँ पे भी एक आ गया
Famine.
famine and excessive taxes, people will resort to eating leaves, roots, flesh, wild honeys, fruits, flowers, and seeds. Struck by drought, they will become completely ruined.
So we see these things also happening in so many other countries, places. Okay, who will read 10 to 16?
I can read.
Yes.
The citizens will the citizens will suffer greatly from cold, wind, heat, rain, and snow. They will be further tormented by quarrels, hunger, thirst, disease, and severe anxiety. The maximum duration of life for human beings in Kali Yuga will become 50 years. By the time the age of Kali ends, the bodies of all creatures will be greatly reduced in size, and the religious principles of followers of Varnashrama will be ruined. The path of the Vedas will be completely forgotten in human society, and so-called religion will be mostly atheistic. The kings will mostly be thieves. The occupations of men will be stealing, lying, and needless violence. And all the social classes will be reduced to the lowest level of Shudras. Cows will be like goats. Spiritual hermitages will be no different from mundane houses. And family ties will extend no further than the immediate bonds of marriage. Most plants and herbs will be tiny, and all trees will appear like dwarf shami trees. Clouds will be full of lightning, homes will be devoid of piety, and all human beings will have become like asses. At that time, the Supreme Personality of Godhead will appear on the earth, acting with the power of pure spiritual goodness. He will rescue eternal religion. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Who wants to do 17 to 20?
Can I read?
Yes.
Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the spiritual master of all moving and non-moving living beings, and the Supreme Soul of all, takes birth to protect the principles of religion, and to relieve his saintly devotees from the reaction of material work. Sorry, Prabhuji, for the background. 18. Lord Kalki will appear in the home of the most eminent Brahmana of Shambhala village, the great soul Vishnu Yasha. Okay. Text 19 to 20. Lord Kalki, the Lord of the universe, will mount his swift horse Devdata and sword in hand travel over the earth, exhibiting the 8 mystic opulences and 8 special qualities of Godhead, displaying his unequaled effulgence and riding with great speed. He will kill by the millions those thieves who have dared dress as kings. Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So I think like this, there are a lot of things here mentioned. Devotees can read separately. Because of lack of time, I think we'll go back to our previous original text 1.1.22 because we would like to complete this chapter today. And then if devotees want, we can do Kahoot quiz on chapter 1. Okay, go to the next 1.1.23. ब्रूहि योगेश्वरे कृष्णे
ब्रूहि
ब्रूहि
योगेश्वरे
योगेश्वरे
कृष्णे
कृष्णे
ब्रह्मण्ये धर्मवर्मणि
Brahmanye
ब्रह्मण्ये
धर्मवर्मणि
स्वां कास्थाम् अधुनोपेते
स्वं काष्ठाम् अधुनोपेते
धर्मकं शरणं गतः.
Dharmakam
धर्मकं
Sharanam
शरणं गतः.
Okay, any volunteers who would like to read the translation and purport?
I can read.
Translation. Oh, go ahead, Mata.
Go ahead, Mataji. It's okay. Go ahead.
Since Sri Krishna, the Absolute Truth, the master of all mystic powers, has departed for his own abode, please tell us to whom the religious principles have gone now for shelter. Have now gone for shelter.
Read the purport.
Yeah,
Yes,
please.
Prabhuji.
Oh, yes, Mataji, please go ahead. Please go ahead, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. Essentially, religion is the prescribed course enunciated by the personality of Godhead himself. Whenever there is gross misuse or neglect of the principles of religion, the Supreme Lord appears himself to restore religious principles. This is stated in Bhagavad Gita. Here, the sages
Which
of
verse?
Naimissaran,
Which verse in the Bhagavad Gita this is stated?
Paritrana Sadhunam.
Yes, Yada Yada and Paritrana. Very nice. Okay, please go ahead.
This is stated in Bhagavad Gita. Here, the sages of Naimissaran are inquiring about these principles. The reply to this question is given later. The Srimad Bhagavatam is the transcendental sound representations of the personality of Godhead, and thus it is the full representation of transcendental knowledge and religious principles. Thus end the Bhakti Vedant purports of the first canto, first chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Questions by the Sages. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for reading. So this first chapter is over today. Now the second chapter of the Bhagavatam is one of the most important chapters. In fact, the shlokas, I think it is not very big chapter, only 34 shlokas, but actually a lot of important shlokas from the Bhagavatam are there in this. So the sages have stopped asking questions. Now in this chapter, Suta Goswami will start speaking, and many of the questions which they have asked, he will briefly touch upon and kind of answer them, start answering. So a lot of these shlokas you will see very frequently quoted in many of the lectures and discussions and Prabhupada's talks and his writings. So I would specifically recommend all the devotees to try to make a note of what are important shlokas in this and even memorize the Sanskrit of those shlokas. That will be very helpful. So that's about this. Now, should we go and get started with this chapter, or should we play Kahoot quiz.
Oi.
So maybe we can start with the first shloka, then we'll see. Is that okay?
No.
Okay. So we'll get started. This. Vyasavacha
Vyasavacha.
So Vacha
iti samprashna samprashto
iti
Samprashna
samprashto
Vipranam Raumaharshani
Vipranam Raumaharshani
Maharshani
Pratipujya Vachastesham
Pratipujya Vachastesham
Pravaktum Upachakrame.
Pravaktum Upachakrame.
Okay, can anybody read the translation purpose?
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, please, ma'am.
Yes. A translation. Ugra Sarva Sutta Goswami, the son of Romaharshana, being fully satisfied by the perfect questions of the Brahmins, thanked them and thus attempt to reply. Purport. The sages of Naimisharanya asked Sutta Goswami 6 questions, and so he is answering them one by one. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So let's see. So he's Romaharshani, son of Romaharsha. Suta Vacha.
Sutuvacha.
Anybody is comfortable reciting this shloka?
Prabhuji, I can try.
You want to sing? Yes, go ahead.
Yam pravarjantam anupetam apeta-krityam.
Yam pravarjantam
Apeta-krityam. I'm sorry, bro. Just try again.
Try Karpanya Dosha tune.
Yes, yeah, that's what I wanted to try. Yam pravarjantam anupetam apeta-krityam.
Yam pravarjantam
Apeta-krityam.
Dvaipayano viraha katara ajuha. Actually, Mataji, Brahma Samhita tune will work better for this one.
This is not
You can
fitting.
try. Yeah, please go ahead. Okay. Yam pravarjantam anupetam. Mataji, you try, please. I'm messing it up.
Yes, actually she's right. That will work. That is
I'll
working.
try. I can try.
Yeah.
Yes, Mataji, please. Yam pravrajantam anupetam apeta krityam.
Yam
Yam
pravarjantam
pravarjantam
apeta-krityam.
Dvaipayano viraha katara ajuhava.
Dvaipayano viraha katara
Putreti tanmayataya taravobhinedus.
Putreti tanmayataya taravobhinedus.
Tam sarvabhutarayam munimanatosmi.
Tam
sarvabhuta hirdayam munim
Pranatosmi.
Anatosmi.
Hare Krishna. Recited. Okay. Who will read the translation? Any volunteer?
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, ma'am.
Srila Sud Goswami said, "Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the great sage Shukdev Goswami, who can enter the hearts of all. When he went away to take up the renounced order of life, sannyas, leaving home without undergoing reformation by the sacred thread or the ceremonies observed by the higher castes, his father Vyasadeva, fearing separation from him, cried out, O my son, indeed only the trees which were absorbed in the same feelings of separation echoed in response to the bereaved father.
Okay, Hare Krishna. So it is very interesting. First, they asked all the question. They took like a whole chapter. They were asking questions, and Sut Goswami was just listening. And now Sut Goswami is going to speak. And what is saying? He's saying, "Let me offer my respectful obeisances to Sukadev Goswami." So Sut Goswami is paying obeisance to Sukadev Goswami. And what he is saying? He can enter into the hearts of all. And then he's telling a little bit about Sukadev Goswami, right? So this is quite interesting. So he's remembering, he's personally, taking time. He's not jumping to the answering the question. First taking the blessings, thinking about the Guru, thinking about where this knowledge came to me. He's reminded of that. He's grateful, expressing the gratitude and prayers to his Guru, like that. And glorifying him. He's glorifying his Guru now. Okay, who would like to read the purport? Mata, you want to continue? Natasha?
Yes, Prabhuji. The institution of Varna and Ashram prescribes many regulative duties to be observed by its followers. Such duties enjoin that a candidate willing to study the Vedas must approach a bona fide spiritual master and request acceptance as his disciple. The sacred thread is a sign of those who are competent to study the Vedas from the Acharya or the bona fide spiritual master. Sri Shukdev Goswami did not undergo such purificatory ceremonies because he was a liberated soul from his very birth. Generally, a man is born as an ordinary being, and by the purificatory process, he is born for the second time. When he sees a new light and seeks direction for spiritual progress, he approaches a spiritual master for instruction in the Vedas. The spiritual master accepts only the sincere inquirer as his disciple and gives him the sacred thread. In this way, a man becomes twice born or a Dvija. After qualifying as a Dvija, one may study the Vedas, and after becoming well versed in the Vedas, one becomes a Vipra. A Vipra or a qualified Brahman thus realizes the absolute and makes further progress in spiritual life until he reaches the Vaishnava stage. The Vaishnava stage is the postgraduate status of a Brahmana. A progressive Brahmana must necessarily become a Vaishnava, for a Vaishnava is a self-realized learned Brahmana.
Okay. I think a lot of things we read in the first two paragraphs. Mataji, you want to summarize a little from the first two paragraphs of the purport?
Yes, Prabhuji. So Prabhupada is saying that as part of Varnashram system, the goal, initially you will approach a bona fide spiritual master. Whoever is interested in self-realization, they will approach a bona fide spiritual master and become their disciple and study submissively under them, study the Vedas under the bona fide spiritual master. And they will get a sacred thread, which is the sign which shows that they are competent, that they can qualified to study the Vedas. But Shukdev Goswami did not need all this. He did not need the sacred thread, and other people, higher class people, do a lot of purificatory processes. He did not need any of those because he was a liberated soul he was born as a liberated soul. So he did not undergo that, all the injunctions of the Varnashram system. But that does not apply to normal people. And then Prabhupada is explaining the process, the purificatory process for normal people, that what is a twice born or a Dvija. So he says that, so initially you will have the interest in self-realization, and you will submit to a spiritual master, start studying the Vedas under their direction, you have the sacred thread. And when he gets the sacred thread, then you become, basically gets initiated by the spiritual master, then you become twice born. So this is the spiritual birth of that person. And then they are called Dvija, meaning twice born. And then Prabhupada is explaining the stages, that after that you become a Vipra, which means somebody who is now knowledge, who has a knowledge of Vedas. Vipra will then, Vipra is basically a qualified Brahman. Then he will continue to make progress and he will become a Vaishnava, which is the highest stage of spiritual life. So a Brahman should basically aspire to become a Vaishnava. Yes, that's what Prabhupada is saying.
It's very nice, Mataji. Just complete the purport and then we can have more discussion, open it up for others to share.
Yes, Prabhuji. Srila Shukdev Goswami was a Vaishnava from the beginning. Therefore, there was no need for him to undergo all the processes of the Varnashram institution. Ultimately, the aim of Varnashram Dharma is to turn a crude man into a pure devotee of the Lord or a Vaishnava. Anyone, therefore, who becomes a Vaishnava, accepted by the first class Vaishnava or Uttamadhikari Vaishnava, is already considered a Brahman, regardless of his birth or past deeds. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted this principle and recognized Srila Haridas Thakur as the Acharya of the holy name, although Thakur Haridas appeared in a Mohammedan family. In conclusion, Srila Shukdev Goswami was born a Vaishnava and therefore Brahmanism was included in him. He did not have to undergo any ceremonies. Any low-born person, be he a Kirata, Huna, Andhara, Pulinda, Pulkasha, Abhira, Shumba, Yavan, Khas, or even lower, can be delivered to the highest transcendental position by the mercy of Vaishnavas. Srila Shukdev Goswami was the spiritual master of Sri Suta Goswami, who therefore offers his respectful obeisances unto Srila Shukdev Goswami before he begins his answers to the questions of the sages of Naimisharanya. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So anybody would like to share any points here? The most important point here is that it is not by birth for most people. Like even if you are not very advanced by birth, still you can actually go to the highest level. Anyone born in any situation, any low-born person, Kirata, Huna, Andhra, Pulinda, Pulkasha, Abhira, Shumba, Yavana, Khasa, these are all low category people. So there is Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. But then below the Shudra, there are many, right? So these are like those categories of people. Andhra, Pulinda, Chandala, Rakshasa, Yavana, all these. Like Prabhupada used to say, we used to hear only in scriptures that dog eater. But then when we started traveling all over the world, we realized, oh, people in Korea and all these people eat dogs. So they are considered very, very low, lower than Shudra actually, because they are doing such things. So anybody born in any family, still they can elevate themselves spiritually by coming in touch of a Vaishnava. Vaishnava can actually, the Vaishnava accepts them, trains them, can go to the first level of the first class Vaishnava. That's what Prabhupada is saying. Like some people, also there are, other kind of people also. They claim themselves to be followers of Srila Prabhupada, but they say that only Prabhupada only is the Guru. Listen everybody very attentively, this is very important. They say that Prabhupada is the only Guru. Nobody else can be a Guru other than Prabhupada. They are followers of Prabhupada. But what is Prabhupada saying here? Prabhupada is saying clearly here that anyone therefore who becomes a Vaishnava accepted by the first class Vaishnava or Uttam Adhikari Vaishnava is already considered a Brahman regardless of his birth or past deeds. And he's giving an example that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who recognized Haridas Thakur and made him the Acharya of the holy name. Right? So anybody who is born in any low can be delivered to the highest transcendental position by the mercy of Vaishnavas. So highest transcendental position means where one is actually an Uttamadhikari, the highest Brahman, highest Vaishnava, and he can train others. Okay, all right. So those people, they don't understand that Prabhupada has so much potency that Prabhupada made so many disciples who were not born in the highest level of environment. Prabhupada pulled them and brought them to the highest level. Just like what Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did. He picked up the 6 Goswamis or different other personalities and actually brought them to the highest level. Okay, so I'll stop here. Anybody else has any questions, comments, any points, any reflections you would like to share? Can do it now.
I just have a small question.
Yes, Madhu.
So what do these categories mean? Like Kirata, Huna? I know they are like low born person, but I was just.
These are just classes based upon how their activities are. So there are in future chapters it will come. Prabhupada will explain about them. So you'll get to know. Okay. Yes, Mataji. Ankita Mataji.
Yeah, Prabhuji, somewhere I heard the story like Sukhdev Goswami was a parrot for Srimati Radharani. I don't know much about it, Prabhuji. Can you tell a little bit about it?
Yes, Mataji. Previous life, he is actually his eternal form is that of Shuka. Actually, in Sanskrit means parrot. So Shuka Dev Goswami, he is actually a parrot of Srimati Radharani. So related to that, we will have discussion here when it comes in Bhagavatam only.
Okay,
That is
Prabhuji.
his constitutional position. All the devotees, they have their constitutional position of service to the Lord. That is his service.
Okay, Prabhuji. That's why it is mentioned like he was Vaishnava by birth only.
He was Vaishnava by birth. His story will come actually.
Okay, Prabhuji.
So that we
Okay, sure. Thank you, Prabhuji.
okay, thank you. Anybody else would like to share anything? Okay. Anybody wants to do Kahoot quiz?
Yes, Prabhuji will play.